Good morning, it's Sunday the 20th of September, so it's a lovely sunny but cool day. Got much more of an autumn feel about it, but still if you get out of the breeze where it's still, it's actually quite pleasant. So I'm hoping it's more ideal for running than the previous few runs. So what I'm going to try today is I'm going to get back to attempting to do walk, run training, and what my plan is today is to, out of every kilometre that I go, I am going to walk the first minute. So that means I'm probably going to add about half a minute to 45 seconds to every kilometre I run. But the thought is it's better for endurance. It also swaps around the muscle groups you're using rather than repetitively using the same, and I need to try and increase or improve my endurance in the latter halves of longer runs. So I definitely struggle at the moment in half marathons, but certainly with the marathons I've done, there seems to be a big fade in the last half to a third, so I've got to work on that a little bit. So anyway, so I'm going to go out of the Hague into Oud Wassenaar, so straight, kind of run north, and then I'm going to go to the beach, and then I'm going to run through the East Dunes on my way back to the Hague or to Scheveningen. Now I've done this a few times before, normally in the middle of the winter, but not in this direction. I normally do it in the other direction. So just see how this goes. It is a longer run, hence why I haven't done it very much at all before. So I'm coming out of the Hague properly now. I'm moving around some hockey pitches, so you know you're on the outskirts of a Dutch town when you start seeing hockey pitches. Very popular here. So the coronavirus here, it really doesn't look as though I'm going to get back for the Clarendon marathon, half marathon, at the start of October. There's still a 14-day quarantine if I go back to the UK, and infection rates have carried on going up, so they're just under 5 per 100,000 population in the UK at the moment. So it's roughly doubled in the last 2 weeks. The Netherlands, by comparison, where there's less stringent measures, is double that. In fact, a little bit more than double that. The Netherlands has a target or a warning level of 7 per 100,000, and they're well over that now. I think it's around 11. So here I am in Oud Wassenaar. You can see it's very leafy. Horse riders. There are actually a number of horse riding trails, because I've got the East Dunes to the west of me here, just over through the trees and across the fields there, and the horse trails are basically sand trails that go through, and you quite often get a lot of the horses going down to the beach as well and going through the surf. A little bit of woodland that's Oud Wassenaar. As I've come out of Oud Wassenaar, there's quite a lot of running there on concrete, unfortunately. and a little bit of tarmac. But even the cycle paths through that section are mainly concrete slabs, which not my favourite surface to run on. So I'm at almost at 12 kilometres, so about halfway or just under halfway. I think this, if I keep going all the way into starting quartier, I think it's going to be 25, but I'll see how I'm doing it. Half marathon, so I'll be running that last section, last 3 kilometres on tarmac. So see how my knees are feeling. So I've got this little section through the woods, and I cut into the Wassenaar or the beach road, and then just before I get to the beach I turn south and going down through the dunes, through the East Dune trails. About 8 kilometres of that, and then as I say I hit that last 3 kilometres of tarmac on the way back. Canal areas, even in woodland like this, that border all the estates that proliferate in this area. I believe the King of the Netherlands has somewhere in here, I think, somebody can correct me on that, but somewhere between Wassenaar and Leiden, in all the estates area. I think he's in there somewhere. So I should pop out in a minute into the beach road. It's always tempting here as a pancake house. Just as you turn you think, ah, that would be nice. Maybe one day I will stop there. I've seen it a few times before. Thought, what a nice place to end my run, but too far from home. It's like the furthest point I can get to. So there we go. Too busy, but a few people in there today. So this is now, this path gradually separates off from the road completely. This footpath and biking path, and indeed a horse trail. There's a horse trail as well. So all three sitting alongside the road. This now heads into the dunes. See the dunes just starting just ahead. So I'm up the top of the hill now. 14 kilometres total. I'm just starting the turn into the dunes. So you can see I've just hit dune trail here. It's obviously haven't been here through here for some time. There's this tree that's obviously been here for some time but fallen right across this top trail. Normally I don't come through this top trail, I cut down a little bit later. Anyway, I'll get going again now after clambering over there. So it's very sandy through here, as you can see, but also very wood orientated. So actually I'm going to go down the better trail down here. So some of it's like this, very loose sand, and some of it's kind of mixed with gravel, or more like, actually it's broken seashells most of the time. So here I come up against around the familiar Guernsey hook. Right. So I know I've got about 10 kilometres to go to the finish now. So I'm still training using this run walk technique. So far so good. And these have got a little bit stiffer after about 10k. So some slower sections, but I'll keep it moving. So this still on this, the first minute of every kilometre I'm going to walk. Just see if that helps my endurance. So certainly the last time I did a long run which is actually longer than this 120 miler, 32k, my recovery was much easier. So 19.5 kilometres, and just crested the Merendale Hill, so that's the last climb really. Not that the climbs are that big here in the Netherlands, but there's a few in these dunes. So I've got about 2.5 kilometres now to get to the entrance of the East Dunes park area, and then another 2.5 to 3 to get back to the other side of the Schrevener bushes, the woods. I kind of want to finish in the shade. It's just a reminder to take it easy, and it can happen to the best of us. Cyclists, racing cyclists just being attended to. It doesn't happen very often actually, they're generally very good. Probably the second time in 5 years of running along here at weekends that I've seen an ambulance along here, but I assume he's had some kind of accident. Problem is, you get on the path, you've just probably seen it then, you get small groups of city bike cyclists overtaking others, and then you have the racing bikes coming through in groups, and normally there's enough avoidance room, but all you need is somebody not checking and overtaking probably when they shouldn't. That then means the fast bikes have got nowhere to go, and they could be tanking down here kind of 40k plus. So just doing a little bit of a walking cool down. After that, the wind has dropped. It does feel a lot warmer than the 22 or 23 degrees the weather forecast is giving us. Anyway, so that was good. I'm fairly happy with that. 25 kilometres, so about 15.5 miles pace, given that I was doing walk running, I think was very good. So just under 7 minutes 20 seconds per kilometre, it's about 7 minutes 18 I think. And just over 3 hours to do that, so roughly an hour per 5.5 miles. So you're going slow, but it's fine. I'm happy to recover it as a training run. So yeah, beautiful day. I'll enjoy the rest of the day. Have a big fry up now. Get some proteins back in me to help my muscles recover, and some carbs. Get everything back to normal in terms of hydration. And I should be good for the start of the week tomorrow.